Hello, my name is Steve Brown, and I'm starting a podcast called Small Town Sound, where we are going to focus on interviewing band directors of music programs in small towns and small schools in rural areas. The first episode is going to focus on my program, Nashville High School in Nashville, Illinois. I want my students to know that even though they come from a small school, that doesn't have to be small achievements. In my program, we've performed at Carnegie Hall in New York. We've performed in Disney World and the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. We've been chosen to perform at the Illinois Music Educators Convention 3 times. And we were chosen to represent small schools at the Chicago Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic in Chicago, Illinois in 2025. I tell my students to dream big every day. I encourage them to believe that they are capable of anything they put their minds to. Without further ado, let's get to our first episode of Small Town Sound. Hello and welcome everybody to a new podcast called Small Town Sound, where we recognize the successes of small town music programs and how they did it. My name is Steve Brown. I'm the music director at Nashville Community High School, where I taught for the last 20 years. I have 3 guests today. Would you guys please take turns introducing yourselves? Hanley, we'll start with you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Hanley Pricewood. I'm a senior this year. And I've been many roles in this music program, including drum major. I was Dorothy this year in the musical, and I am Triumph co-president.
Grace, how about you next?
My name is Grace Stein. I'm also a senior. I've been in the program for 4 years. I am the other drum major, other Triumph co-president, and am in many of the ensembles here at the program.
And then finally, Miss Hoke, how about you?
I am Leah Hoke, and I am the assistant music director at Nashville, and this is my first year teaching.
And Miss Hoke, what has been your first impressions of the program? You've been now teaching for the last 7 months. What do you think of us?
Well, I really have enjoyed my time so far, and there were a couple moments, even in like the beginning of marching season, where I was like, oh, I think I found my place. So it's been an amazing time. It's definitely a very unique program. yeah, and I'll get more into that later, but I just love the opportunities that we give all of our students.
Great. Grace and Hanley, you've been like you guys have said, you've been in almost every ensemble, or in Hanley's case, you've been in every ensemble that we've ever had. How do you are also both involved in other things? How do you guys balance what we do along with everything else in the high school?
Yeah. There's a few things, like, it's definitely a big commitment. So there's a couple things that I've had to make decisions about through the years, like whether I want to continue with a club or like a sport or something to really dedicate my time to the program. But the program itself is built in a way to like work with other clubs, work with classes. So it really hasn't been too bad. Like, obviously, with all the programs we're in, all the clubs we're in, it's a little busy, but that's to be expected. There really hasn't been too much extra stress, though. Like, it's been pretty easy to balance all of it.
Hanley, with the same question.
Okay. I think for me especially, it helps to take things like one day at a time, or in some cases one season at a time. There's so many things we do in music in terms of concert band, jazz band starts a little later, like things like that, where different ensembles start at different times of the year. So it's a lot easier to balance those. But in terms of balancing multiple ensembles within the same time of the year, like right now there's jazz band, jazz choir, steel pan, after school music, all of those things, it really helps to take things a day at a time, because the schedule sets it up where there's not two ensembles playing the same day. So you can focus, and also you need to make sure that you're obviously taking time to practice on your own, as it is your own responsibility. But for me, in my case, with doing cheer at the same time, it's been really helpful that my coaches and you guys work together to get a schedule working, and that also majority of the time wherever the cheer is at, most of the time the band's there as well. So it helps that we're all there in the same place.
How have you guys have changed as musicians since your freshman year? So you started this program your freshman year. You knew a lot about the program because you went to the middle school that is in the same town. How have you changed since starting?
I can tell definitely for myself, I've gotten a lot more confident. Freshman year, I was really quiet. I really just wanted to like kind of follow what everyone else was doing, not say much. And I can tell now, like, I've definitely like taken more chances, gone off on my own, talk more. I've just really come out of my shell because of the program.
Great. And Hanley, what about you?
For me, I was very like structured in music. I would only ever play what was written on the page. I only ever like was trying to do it correctly, rather than, as through my high school years, I've learned that like it's so much more important to connect with the music you're playing. Like really feel, like I've learned how to feel it. I've learned how to take what I've learned from previous songs or pieces that we did in different ensembles and apply that to others. Like that it all is like one fluid thing that you're supposed to feel, rather than just structured notes.
And Miss Hoke, I promise we'll get to you in a little bit, but we're going to talk a little bit about some trips that we've been on. Miss Hoke is being the first year; she hasn't been on any trips with any week-long trips with us yet. But Hanley and Grace, what have been your favorite things about the trips that we've gone on, and maybe explain some of the trips that we've been on? Hanley, we'll start with you first.
Okay.
Yes. Going on the Disney trip was, I think, my first big trip altogether, I believe. And that was definitely an experience, to say the least. But it was so cool to all, like, be there together and experience not only music together, but kind of just getting to hang out as like a giant group. Like, that was also so much fun. Because you got to play music at really cool venues and, like, see people kind of gravitate to wherever you're playing. Even people that weren't your parents or people you knew just thought that you sounded cool and like started to come up. Like that was such a cool experience. But then also being in the parks and walking around and getting to see like, oh hey, there's my other band member over there, like in line for the same ride. Like it was super cool to experience that all together and like really form a friendship with people that you might have not really hung out with yet. Your turn, Grace.
I think I want to talk about Chicago, even though it wasn't like a week long, but it was definitely probably the most meaningful trip to me, just because of the opportunity that we got while we were there. I think my favorite trip thing about all the trips though is the opportunities that we get, like marching in front of Magic Kingdom, playing at this international conference, DC. Like there was a whole bunch there, but Chicago, we were the example for small schools, and I don't think any of us ever thought that we'd be doing that. We got to meet a composer. We saw bands from like different cultures, different countries. I think it was just so cool to me to see like how it all connects and how it was
Mm.
decently close to home.
Whenever you say Disney, everybody recognizes what Disney is
Hmm.
and the magic of it and things like that. When you're talking about Chicago, Grace, I think I should probably inform everybody that we're talking about the Chicago Midwest International Band and Orchestra Convention, which all band directors will know about when they see this, but maybe kids don't, students of high school programs may not know what that is. Can you guys explain to them what the Midwest Conference was and like the importance of it?
I actually myself didn't know what the Midwest Clinic was, and no matter as much as like we tried to explain it was kind of one of those things that when I finally got there, I realized the importance of it and how cool it actually was. So the Midwest Clinic for me, what I took from it was that it was a clinic of all of the best bands from all around the globe, really. And they all come to learn something from one another, whether that be a new teaching style, a new playing style. There was a bunch of different booths set up for like different instruments or different things you could purchase. It was just kind of a one collective music fest, really.
Yeah, I pretty much what Hanley said too. We did go and watch other schools, and it was just kind of cool to see like what they had to present, what was unique about their program. Like we kind of showed what we did, but then there was a different school that we went to watch, and their conductor talked about like how it's different. It's really cool to see how it all connects, but then how everyone's unique in their own aspect.
Miss Hoke, since this is your first year here, you grew up in a small town pretty close to Nashville, about an hour away. Coming into our program for the first time, what surprised you the most about the program?
There were a couple things. So the biggest, like, I think shock for me was just and it's not really specific to the program, I guess, but it was like all of the behind the scenes like logistics that go into everything. Um, like it seems silly, but like moving all of the equipment for marching band. Like I had not really experienced um, that because my high school we didn't have a marching band, so I hadn't thought about like how much work really goes into it and how much we have to do to make sure that the kids are all set up for success logistically. Um, but then in general, like with the program, I think what surprised me the most was how many things like you do with the kids, like how many places you take them and all of the different ensembles that you give them, even though it's a small school. I think a lot of smaller schools think that they can't do these things. And sometimes positions are kind of like the people in those positions feel like they can't because they might be the only person in their school. Um,
So I'm going to put you on the spot. What has been your favorite moment this year so far?
there's so many. I would say my favorite moment was actually pretty recent. It was at the Fine Arts Festival. Just seeing all of the different groups, like at our school and at the middle school and with TSJ, like the other feeder schools, seeing all of these people come together and show what they've been working on and celebrate the arts. So, working with the art teacher as well and having all of the art displays. Um, like, I never had anything like that in high school, and I think it's very special that our school celebrates the arts in the way that we do.
Yeah, and what Ms. Hoke is talking about is we have a county-wide fine arts festival that invites all of our other feeder schools in to come and perform and show off and showcase their artwork. And every school that we have that feeds into us is also a very small school. No school has more than, a couple hundred kids in their school. Our school, as I've mentioned before, is about 350 kids. We've gotten as big as around 450. So we are very small as well. But it seems like we do have some very large schools around us. But it seems like we still find a way to have all of the ensembles and in some cases more ensembles than what the large schools have. So that's been one really, really cool thing from being the director of the program. So Hanley and Grace, speak a little bit about like the relationships you've built in band. You two have been friends since forever, I guess. I don't know, but I know that music has strengthened your bond, and maybe you can talk a little bit about that. Grace, why don't we start with you this time?
Yeah, we met and started taking piano lessons together in second grade, and we weren't automatically best friends, but we were close, and so we kind of like ended up in the same groups, like music groups throughout middle school, throughout primary school, up until high school. Hanley did choir. I've never done choir, but in all of the band groups, we've pretty much stayed together, and it really, strengthened our bond in high school, I think, because of how much we did together, how much we saw each other. And yeah, I don't know. It's really kind of crazy to think what it would have been if we hadn't done all this stuff.
Yeah, I think that it definitely helped that we were similar in the ways that like we both played flute, we both enjoy piano, like things like that, but also that we kind of were diverse in different ways as well. I don't know bass guitar, couldn't tell you, but I know Grace also doesn't really like to sing. So in those kind of aspects, it's nice to bounce ideas off of each other. And I think that we did a lot of that in middle school with coming up with different things, that we never were in much of like leadership roles until high school. When those opportunities opened up, it really showed how well we worked together because we were given so many opportunities to try new things out, learn different things, kind of be our own person and like be successful in our own different ways, but use each other to help both of us get better.
This next question is really for all of us, but we all have a certain amount of love for this program, and we've all been a part of it, and we've all been a part of other music programs. Can you talk about what makes it special to you? And Ms. Hoke, we'll start with you since you're the newest.
I think the thing that makes this program so special is we are, and especially you, very open to brand new or weird things. And like it's not weird to us. Like we think it's cool. So like for example, what other schools in the Midwest have a steel pan ensemble? Not many. And it's something that's very, like, I didn't know much about steel pan at all. When you had mentioned that, I was like, whoa, like, I had never heard of something like that before, or even really seen people doing that, especially in this area. But things like that, like being open to giving students opportunities galore, like as many opportunities in music as possible, and not, pigeonholing them to one thing. I know like a lot of schools are known, like they're known for their marching band or they're known for their choir, but I think that we are very well rounded and we're known for lots of things, like our whole program and not just our band or just the choir.
I really think that like what makes it special is how close everyone is. Like we aren't just friends with our sections. Everyone's very close with each other. Like it's not like we have a tiny band. There's still a good amount of people in there, but we all have good relationships with each other. We all see each other a lot, and we like they're like one of my best friends is way back in the trombone section. So, it's just we all are always seeing each other, and it's like we're all friends.
And Hanley will end up with you.
Okay. I think that the success doesn't just immediately start in high school and what you're learning in high school, but also the fact that we focus on the younger generations as well that are coming into high school, not even just the eighth graders, but the kids we teach in after school music, teaching them how to play and be comfortable in their instrument. And then also you even at the Fine Arts Fest, seeing what all of the middle schools already accomplishing as well, and how much we did the Be Our Guest Fest, which was giving other students opportunities to play in like small groups with the high school band and learning what that's like, getting them all comfortable with playing in a high school setting to a high school level. Even just the summer lessons that we offer. It definitely helps to come into high school with already a certain skill set that we have been building since 5th or 6th grade.
To close things out here, I want to do a lightning round. I'm just going to say, I'm going to have a question, and I want you to go through each of you, and we'll go Hanley, Grace, and then Miss Hoke. All right, so what is your favorite piece performed? It is.
I think my favorite piece so far that we've performed is the song that we're doing in choir right now, which is Water Fountain. I like whenever we use not only singing, but we involve like instruments or even just clapping, like adding those features onto it once we've pretty much almost perfected a piece. Getting to add stuff like that is pretty cool.
I think my favorite, I can't remember the name. What was the one we did last year? With all the like noise, the sounds at the beginning, like the animal noises at the beginning.
That was called Bamboo Warrior.
That's what it was. That's my favorite one. I thought that one was a lot of fun, and it was really cool to like kind of set the scene at the beginning and really get everyone in the same mindset.
And some people could actually make some really cool animal noises that you never thought they could make.
Miss Hoke, how about you?
For me, yeah, I'll have to say we did an arrangement of Lo, How a Rose Ever Blooming at Christmas time, and like I got chills conducting. And so we just worked so hard on balancing and blending, and it was some of the prettiest I've heard them play. So I'm excited to do more of that.
I agree with you. I've told you guys quite a few times, at least Hanley and Grace, I've told you guys that it's unique for me to sit back and listen to the program, because for so long I've been the only director that, I've been in front of you moving my arms and trying to get you to play, that it's so cool to just be able to sit back and listen to you guys perform. It's one of my favorite things right now. Okay, so how about favorite food memories on trips? How about Grace or Hanley and Grace? What has been your favorite food?
I don't know. Oh, I do. Okay, so this is very odd, but this was actually at Midwest, and it kind of just happened. We were walking around, and the Starbucks shop was about to close. And they had a bunch of cake pops that they put in this giant bag, and they just gave it to us for free. And so we were just walking around all over Midwest just handing people cake pops. That was probably my favorite one.
Were there 50 cake pops in there? There were a lot.
There was so many cake pops. They could have just sold it the next day.
I actually had a picture of the cake pop, you eating one of the cake pops in the video that I showed earlier, but I think I took it out. Was it in there?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I took it out because I didn't want you to be embarrassed while, eating on a video. So, Grace, what was your favorite food?
I thought it was cool to have like authentic Chicago style pizza in Chicago. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing that we did on that trip, and not everybody loved it, but everyone has their own opinion. I really liked it. I thought it was cool. So
early morning practice or late night performance? Or sorry, yeah, early morning rehearsal or a late night I guess rehearsal. Let's just keep it rehearsals.
Late.
Yeah.
I'm not a morning person. I not secretly, it's no secret. I need like to be up at least till 10 to be fully awake. So anytime we have early morning practices, I'll like sneak an Alani with me just because it's not my jam. But I really enjoy like musical season and jazz band and jazz choir season just because like I feel like even though it's later on in the night, everybody's still like going compared to in the morning. No one's awake and no one knows what to do.
Grace, how about you?
I agree with the late night. I don't think everybody's fully awake early in the morning. You know, you got to give us some time. So that means we have to wake up earlier to wake ourselves up. But I think, you know, we're always up late anyway. So the late night rehearsals aren't that bad.
Miss Hoke, how about you?
I prefer late night as well. I like struggle getting going in the morning too. And like jazz choir is always a fun time, and so I think I just prefer the late night rehearsals.
Yeah, see, I'm the only dumb one. I like the early morning things because I don't know. I can't think of one time we've had a bad early morning rehearsal, but I can think of probably 50 late night rehearsals that have gone bad or at least gone differently than what I wanted them to go. So I like the early morning. Okay, and this is the most important one. And I think we have 11, sometimes 12 different ensembles per year. You have to pick a favorite. So I'm putting you on the spot. What is your favorite ensemble that we have? I don't know where Hanley went. Hanley, are you still there?
I don't know.
Well, we'll ask Grace. Grace, what's your favorite?
Does marching band count?
Yeah, I
Or
think
is
so.
that considered? Okay, yeah, I'd say that's my favorite. She's completely gone. Just because of like, I mean, obviously sometimes outside and 95-degree heat isn't great, but band camp is always really fun. Competitions are really fun. You know, most times rehearsals, we end up having fun. But yeah, I'd say that's my favorite. And everyone gets to dress up in costume and be a different character.
Yeah. I'm gonna speak for Hanley here. Hanley has been in 3 different musicals, and she's been some leading characters. She was Dorothy this year for our musical Wizard of Oz, our production of Wizard of Oz. So I'm going to say that that's her favorite. I don't know that that's her favorite, but I'm going to speak for her this time. Miss Hoke, how about you?
I've enjoyed all of it, but at the end of the day, I think I'm a symphonic band girl. It's always my favorite part of the day, like to conduct the band.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with the jazz band. I love it. I mean, there's not a part of our music program that I don't love, but if I have to pick a favorite, I'm gonna pick the jazz band. I just love it. Being a drummer and playing rhythmic instruments my whole life, and that was the first love of a certain genre of music was jazz for me. So I absolutely love it. So. Well, I guess we need to find out what happened to Hanley. But she just texted me. Yep, she's gone. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys joining me on a Sunday to do the first Small Town Sound podcast. We'll see where this goes, and hopefully there's hundreds more to come. But thank you, Grace and Miss Hoke and Hanley, who's not here right now, for joining.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Okay, well, this has been Small Town Sound, and we hope to see you next time.